Hey, what's going on? It's Two. Y'all probably already heard the news by now that they gave out at SoccerCon over the weekend, yesterday, in fact. So this is fresh off the press, so to say. But yeah, I will show you guys the dev diary here. But first, they announced Grail, the Grail Live concert. I guess they're calling it Grail concert instead of Grail Live, whatever. Same event, obviously. And yeah, not only that, but they also announced early June release for Lost Belt 6. Now, I'm making this video because this is pretty significant, and I want to explain to you why, in case people haven't already been talking about this on Discord and on Twitter and whatnot. So yeah, if you take a look at how the events for Lost Belt 6 and the banners around it played out in JP, you'll see here that on the wiki it says Lost Belt 6 came out in Japan on the Japanese server on June 11th on the calendar. And 2 weeks later, right, we get the Castoria banner, and while the Castoria banner is going on, we get Grand Nero Fest. So this means that JP had two uninterrupted weeks of Morgan banner because Morgan comes out with Lost Belt 6. And then it goes into Castoria, and then they go into Lost Belt release part 2, and this is the Melusine banner, and then they go into August, which is their anniversary, and which is obviously Koinskaya. And then afterwards, it's Morgan again, and I think Oberon is somewhere in here. So, it's somewhere in here, probably the it's probably the Lost Belt 6 conclusion summoning campaign or whatever the hell that is. But yeah. So, as you guys should probably know by now, being mostly NA players, you guys know that for the past 5 years, we've always past 5-6 years, we always had our anniversary, NA anniversary, on July or in early July, because they always try to make it a part of Anime Expo, which is the biggest anime convention in North America. I wonder how many times I've said that before. But yeah, that's the reason why. Our anniversary is always a month earlier on the calendar compared to JP, and JP's anniversary is August. So the question that this situation poses now that, as you see here in the dev diary, they're confirming an early June release for Lost Belt 6. That we kind of have to ask ourselves is how are the banners for Castoria, Grand Nero Fest, and Melusine gonna play out? And of course, in the context of anniversary, because we know, like I said, anniversary is July 4th basically, or July 3rd, basically the first week of July, and because of that. And because of the confirmation of early June Lost Belt 6 release, there's just not enough time to fit in Castoria banner, Grand Nero Fest, and Melusine banner. Because JP got Melusine before their anniversary, so therefore Melusine was a part of GSSR on JP during 6th anniversary. But because we don't have enough time to fit in all those banners, like what's going to happen now? I just opened up FGL on my tablet down here to check like how the dates are running for our current banners or for our current events going on right now, events or raid-ups or whatever. And right now for NA we have the Strengthening Quest, batch number, what is it, 10 or something like that? I guess we could check real quick here. Not even 10, number 13. Got a lot of these. So yeah, we have that going on right now. We also have the Moriarty and the Quetzalcoatl banner going on right now, and according to the in-game news bulletin, that should last until April 19th. Whereas if you compare that to the same thing on JP, theirs lasted from April 14th to the 28th. So that more or less kind of lines up. Again, it depends on what Aniplex defines as an early June release, because obviously they can make it as late as like June 11th, just to make it line up perfectly at JP, but that wouldn't really make sense because obviously with our current banners going on right now, our Quetzalcoatl and Moriarty banners will end on the 19th, which means that there's a 9-day gap between, there's a 9-day advance on the calendar that we have over JP. So likely Lost Belt 6 will release like the first couple of days of June. But even then, even if we were to assume that, there's still not enough time. Because even if they were to release Lost Belt 6 on June 1st, the very first day of June, that would still mean that we only have a month. We barely have over a month until 6th anniversary. And how are they going to fit Morgan banner, Castoria banner, Melusine banner, Grand Nero Fest all before 6th anniversary? Like, how are they going to do that? So yeah, this is a situation that I don't know if NA's ever been in before. Like, NA has always tried to, or they've always managed to, make sure to structure our chronology of events so that we get everything before anniversary. I think in recent years we've also even we've had to like flip flop some events around, but that wasn't really that big of a deal. I think last year we had to like flip flop. I think the Oku rerun with maybe Summer 5. I don't remember quite exactly. I'm sure I could check it right now, but yeah, like even then that doesn't really compare to what we're seeing for the month of June. So like, what are they exactly planning here? Aniplex, that is, or I guess Lasagna, because ultimately they're the ones in charge, right? Because what they could do, just postulating here, just taking into account some of the possibilities here, is they could postpone Eurofest until after anniversary, and instead pull up the Melusine banners. But the problem with that is you're ignoring we're ignoring Castoria, because Castoria banner needs to be in there too somewhere. So like and we, like I said, we only have a month between Lost Belt 6 release and 6th anniversary. But we still need to get the 3 banners: Morgan, Castoria, and Melusine. And whatever the banners are, well, actually, I already said, they might move Grand Eurofest until after anniversary, so obviously the banners there won't really apply here. But still, that's 3 banners in a month, which means, like, obviously they're not going to be able to get the full 2 weeks per banner, right? Unless they do something weird, like have Melusine's banner overlap with anniversary or something. I don't know. It's really weird. The other option could be, just delay Melusine banner until after anniversary, and we have Grand Eurofest before anniversary. So it would be, we have Grand Eurofest for 2 weeks, and we go directly into anniversary right after. But then again, if that happens, people are going to be pissed because they expect Melusine to be on the 6th anniversary GSSR. Recall that, I don't know how many of you guys remember this, because this is something that only like NA FGO boomers will remember. But recall that back in year 1, they tried screwing with the GSSR by pulling it up early, I believe, because it was supposed to be for New Year's, but then we did it for Thanksgiving, because Lasagna or Delightworks back in the day was trying to make a big deal out of Thanksgiving events because NA server and all that. So yeah, but because they did that, right? The GSSR ended up not having, for example, Mordred or Jack, because we didn't have London at the time. London came out in December. Thanksgiving is in November, so we physically didn't have the 2 London SSRs as a part of that, and people were upset over that. Obviously, some people were, some people, the GSSR switch in year 1 did end up benefiting some people, right? Because it happened in the middle of Gouda Gouda 1, I believe. And so in order to make up for Jack and Mordred not being on the GSSR, they included Okita instead. And so some people just rolled for Okita instead, and they managed to get her that way. So some people obviously benefit from that, but a lot of more people were upset that they had pulled up GSSR early and therefore screwed up its contents. And ever since then, Delightworks / Aniplex kind of learned their lesson from that, and they've never screwed with GSSR since. Like they made sure to keep it the same. Like they heard us loud and clear back then. But this time around, like what is gonna happen, right? Because are they willing to risk flaming the player base again by not having Melusian as part of GSSR, by having her banner after anniversary? Like, that doesn't seem very likely either. So, like, seriously, what is Lasagna cooking up right now is what I want to know, right? Because there is simply not enough time. The point is, there's simply not enough time to fit in Lost Spell 6 release with Morgan banner, Castoria banner, and Melusian banner, and Grand Neurofest all before Lost Spell 6. That is kind of the issue that I'm seeing right now, and that I'm sure, and the same issue that I'm sure some of you guys may have already been discussing ever since, the SakuraCon news yesterday, amongst yourselves on like Discord and Twitter and other social media platforms. But yeah, in case you didn't see this, or you didn't, how should I say this without sounding like a complete asshole? In case you weren't able to see like the potential problems that this sort of scheduling conflict is kind of posing on NA, then yeah, this is something to consider, because no matter what, I think some people's role plans or rolling schedules or plans or whatever will get screwed up. It's just a matter of how badly, depending on what events they decide to pull up early or decide to delay until after anniversary. I think that the best case scenario is where we see Grand Neurofest be delayed until after anniversary, because that way it'll be tight with having both Morgan and Melusian banners being active in the same month. That's gonna suck. And on top of Castoria banner being wedged in between those two somehow. So people trying to roll for all three of them, like, that's gonna be one hell of a month, like, literally. But that would still mean that we get all three servants before anniversary, and we go into Grand Neurofest with two servants that JP never had 2 years ago. Because remember, JP, if we check their calendar, Grand Neurofest was before their 6th anniversary. So they played Grand Neurofest without Melusian and without Koinskaya. Whereas if Lasagna decides to delay Grand Neurofest for after anniversary, then that'll mean that we will absolutely have Koinskaya, and we might have Melusian too to help us out for Grand Neurofest farming, and that could change things up pretty well in our favor, obviously. So, we've seen this happen. We've seen that particular instance happen before, where we've had because of the anniversary difference, right? We end up having our anniversary sort of before like an event on JP, where for JP they had that same event but without the anniversary servant. I think last year something similar happened there with us having Castoria for an event that we weren't supposed to have her for, and then Lasagna was like, whatever, I guess that's okay. But here it's like, would Lasagna be okay with us having Grand Neurofest, or being able to play Grand Neurofest with not just one but two new servants that JP never had? And not only that, both Melusian and Koinskaya Light are two huge farming servants, like, obviously. Because at least last year when we got Castoria for that one event that JP didn't have Castoria for, I don't think it was like a huge farming event or whatever. At least I don't think so. Otherwise I would remember what it was. So yeah, it's like, seriously, like I said before, what on earth is Lasagna cooking? Do you smell the Lasagna cooking? Is what we gotta ask ourselves. So, yeah, just some quick food for thought out there. I'm interested to hear what you guys think will happen with the scheduling, with Lost Belt 6 release, and all of our banners and events that come out in between then and anniversary. So, like to hear what you guys think or hope will happen. But yeah, just something to think about. Anyways, peace.